Pâtés are fun and simple, and I just love to start a dinner with them. Today we're going to do a mixed poultry pâté with chicken and duck livers, but you can use any kind of meats you want. We'll start by setting up our KitchenAid for grinding the meats. And I like to run my garlic and shallots and maybe some carrots and leeks, whatever other vegetables I like in my pâté. I do them first and last through the meat grinder. And here we're going to run some chicken through. And then some of our duck livers. Now all that goes into the KitchenAid mixing bowl, but you can use a food processor if you'd prefer for the next step. Here I'm going to add a little cream to soften the consistency. And then I'm going to add a couple of eggs, one at a time. Be careful, they can get messy. Now here we're going to season it with Rick's Chef salt, some salt, a little black pepper, and then whatever herbs you want to use. I think for this one I used parsley and thyme. But in all honesty, I change it every time I make it. And let's heat our oven to 400 degrees. Now here, I'm going to transfer about half of it to a food processor, simply because I want a finer texture than what just the ground meat would do on its own. And I'm going to make it even smoother by adding a little more cream to it. Now, I'm not afraid to taste and season it. We use California chickens, and I'm not afraid of the salmonella that can happen if you use Eastern or Midwest chickens. We don't tend to have that problem here in California. But it's not something I strongly recommend, unless you're comfortable doing it. Okay, now to this portion of it, I'm going to add a little rosemary. A touch more cream, and we're done. Okay, I'm going to repeat the process with the rest of the pâté mixture. But depending on how strong it was in rosemary and the taste of the other one will determine what herbs I use or do not use in this. I will use cream. I've also determined it needs a little more of Rick's Chef salt. Be sure and open the lid and scrape down the bowl every once in a while. And I sneak and taste at the same time. If you saw our salmon and fish terrine episode, then you'll know that you can also take your mixture and cook it in a pan and taste it and check the consistency that way. Okay, we oil our pan, put on our parchment paper, and then spoon in the terrine. Smooth it out, and then cover it. Now it's ready for the oven. Put it in a larger pan, make a bain-marie. This one I'm actually covering with a lid because I don't want it to get browned and dry on top. And in the oven it goes. Just about an hour and a half later, we pull it out, check the temperature, and it should be between 155 and 160 degrees. Perfect. Now we'll let that cool. I happen to cut it into sections, wrap it in cellophane, and then put it in the fridge and let it cool overnight. And now we're ready to take it out and serve it with mustard, freshly made croutons, and a small petite salad on the side. And there you have it, a basic multi-meat pâté.